Hello and welcome to week 8 live chat. This is the halfway point of our 16-week course. Okay, we're really making progress and you've been learning a lot. And this week you're going to learn about possibly one of the most important laws in your career, and that is HIPAA's privacy rule. We are the keepers of patient information, and part of our job is to protect this patient information from eyes that should never see it, while at the same time making it available to those who need to see it for the patient's benefit. So, the privacy rule established these standards that must be followed because this is sacrosanct in healthcare. Now, I'm sure you know about the patient-physician confidentiality. It's existed since Hippocracy, Hippo, Hip, Hip, Hippocrates, not hypocrisy. Sorry about that. Since Hippocrates created the oath and the healthcare establishment agreed to that, and that is to always keep the patient's secret confidential, the respect for patient privacy. As you may know from watching TV and movies, if not from personal experience, the physician-patient confidentiality is upheld in every court in the land. Well, HIPAA expanded the patient-physician confidentiality to include legally everybody on the healthcare team, because now it's not just the physician who is caring for the patient. It is the physician, the nurse, the health information management specialist, as in the billing and coding specialist, okay, and others on the team. And prior to the passing of HIPAA, it was ethical for these members of the team to keep this quiet, but it was not a legal obligation. Once HIPAA passed and was implemented, this now became the legal obligation of everyone on the healthcare team. And that includes, yes, the clinicians, the physicians, the nurses, the therapists, etc. But it also includes everybody on the administrative side of the building. Anyone and everyone who might possibly sneak a peek at patient records. So that includes volunteers as well as full-time and part-time employees and staff members. And by implementing the business associate contract agreement, which is also included in this federal law, that must be used every time a healthcare facility outsources something to a third-party payer, such as a separate coding and billing company. This business associate agreement brings this third-party payer, even though they may not officially be a covered entity, and brings them under the umbrella of the covered entity. And very important, when that happens, both the third-party vendor and the original healthcare provider maintain liability for the protection of patient information. So there is no getting away from it. It is our responsibility to make sure everything is done to protect patient information. It's pretty straightforward, but it's important for you to learn. And yes, when you get hired somewhere, you will have to go through a HIPAA training, and it must be done every year thereafter. This is actually in the law that training must be provided. Okay? Don't let that make you slack on learning about it now, because this information is absolutely critical for you to know and understand as a health information management professional, as a coding and billing professional. Basically, the way I refer to it is the keep your big fat mouth shut rule. Okay? Do not talk about patient business at all in any way, shape, or form that might get brought back to that one individual. So, not even, oh, this patient named Karen, even though there are lots of Karens, and the facility may have lots of Karens who are patients, you cannot take the chance. The consequences for failing to comply with HIPAA's privacy rule are very severe. Fines, penalties, and the possibility of jail or prison time. And remember, as HIM professionals, you are the keepers of the information. So this doesn't mean you don't get to go to jail. It means you're the first one to go to jail. So respect people's privacy as you will want your privacy to be respected. Don't talk about patient information, period. Okay, pretty straightforward. And this week's discussion is about exactly this. For you to remember that protected health information, abbreviated as PHI, includes past, present, and future physical and mental health, the whole package, all of those cells from the top of the head to the little tips of the toes, phalanges. Okay? Nothing about this patient. Documentation of the provision of healthcare services, procedures, treatments, past, present, or future payment for the provision of healthcare. Nothing, all of it, because it all leads back to the same place. And of course, this includes our codes, because you can look up codes and then know what the patient was suffering with or what treatment was had. All right. So in this week's discussion, you will see that you find out your best friend's father has been brought into the hospital's emergency department by ambulance. You receive a phone call asking, really begging, please find out details about my dad because I'm out of town and I'm very, very worried and I don't know what to do or who to talk to. Of course, you have the ability to log into the EHR system and look at the documentation, find out what's going on with the dad. Okay, this is your best friend's father. Or you can just go over to the emergency department and ask somebody, just, psst, psst, just, it's my best friend's father. You could tell me, okay, just let me, she's out of town. Just let me give her, a little peace of mind. Is that what you should do? What should you do? What should you tell your very best friend in the whole entire world? Be specific. Write your answer in first person. That means using, I will do this, I will do that. Okay? Very straightforward. You should know what to do, but it's hard when it's somebody so close to you. All right, this week you're going to read Chapter 8, Privacy, Security, and Fraud. HIPAA is included in there, as well as the False Claims Act, which is another law with which you must become very, very, very familiar. Mhm. All right. You're going to do your homework, the chapter assignment, and then what? You're going to have a quiz. You know, it's the same thing every week. I provided you also, and this is something I strongly suggest you download and keep this handy. The HIPAA Privacy Rule Summary. It's only like 6 pages long. It's really good at summarizing all of the key points of the privacy rule. And it is incredibly handy to have and to use as a study guide, as well as a rule while you are studying for certification, as well as getting ready to go out into the workforce. Okay, so go ahead and download that. Just as a heads up, you still have 2 weeks to go, but you have another test coming up, March 15th through 16th, and it includes this chapter 8, as well as last week's chapter 7 and next week's chapter 9. Look at how that works. Okay. All right. Remember, you only have 8 weeks left in this course. That's 2 months. And you already know that in COVID time, things go very, very quickly. I can't even believe it's already March. So seriously. All right, you know exactly what to do when you have a question, when you have a comment, when you want to discuss something, when you want to talk something through, email me. Email me your questions. I will email you back within 24 hours. If you want to literally talk it through, we can make an appointment like professionals to speak on the phone. We can Skype, we can Zoom, we can FaceTime. I am very technically flexible. Okay. All right. I'm here to support you. I'm your coach. You are the Olympic champion of healthcare law and ethics. So I'll see you in the course room.